So we're going to continue our coverage over Destiny of X, and we pick up with X-Men Annual number 1. Now, when it comes to this book, it truly does focus on Firestar for a very good reason. And the reason why, because Firestar, has always been out there in the left field. What I mean by that is, when it came to her being in the left field, she never truly got the same hate like other X-Men characters did when it came to the human race. One of the biggest things, most likely the biggest thing about X-Men comics is that when it comes to the mutants, they're always going to be hated on by the humans forever and ever. Now, when it came to Firestar, she never truly got that same hate like the other members of the X-Men did. And the reason why, because as soon as she would join one of the many X-Men team, she would then join a different team that were full of human heroes like the Avengers or the New Warriors. And so because she was on those teams, a lot of the times humans did not look at her in the wrong way. They just look at her as a random hero on a random team. And so she never truly had to go through the trials that the other mutants had to go through when it came to the humans trying to kill off the mutant race. Now, with that being said, when we dive into this book, we do see her being attacked by the Hellions. And the reason why, because the Hellions are kind of like how the rest of the mutants truly feel. How dare you come here and try to live a good life on our island where you never had to suffer like we had to out in the real world. Now, when it comes to the Hellions, this is not Mr. Sinister Hellions. These are Emma Frost's old students. See, back in the old days of Marvel Comics, when you first had the New Mutants, Marvel gave them an evil team to battle that was being led by Emma Frost, which was the Hellions, a group of young people that she was teaching. Either way, you have Iceman step in and tell the Hellions to back off, but then you have Iceman tell they have to leave because they are needed for some X-Men stuff. But this shows that when it comes to Firestar, a lot of people on the island do not like her because she never truly had to go through the same sufferings as they did. Now, once you have Firestar and Iceman arrive back at the X-Men base, this is where you have the X-Men just go over the different missions that were given to them. Now, the first few are really not that important. The last one is the most important one. And the reason why, because it is a cancer hospital claiming that they never got their Krakoan drugs. Now remember, at this point in time in Marvel Comics, Krakoa is the mutant nation, and they have trade deals with other nations around the world. And usually when it comes to their trade deals, they're just giving out drugs that could help humans fight against different kinds of diseases like cancer. And so with that being said, this cancer hospital is saying that they never got their drugs. And when it came to Firestar, she felt like that should be their main goal right there for today, because she's always saying that when it comes to the X-Men, we're always trying to handle big problems, but never small problems. We are supposed to stand for something, so why don't we go there first to handle that problem? Now, you have Cyclops agree that when it comes to the X-Men, they should be handling all different kinds of problems, big ones and small ones. And so he says, listen, the rest of you will go out there and handle the other missions that were given to us. Her and I will go there and deal with this problem. Now, there is another reason why Cyclops is doing this and wants to be left alone with Firestar. And the reason why, because she does not want to be on the X-Men team at all. She was technically forced on the team by Emma Frost. Now, usually when it comes to Emma Frost, she always has a reason for doing things to other people. But when it comes to Cyclops, he says, I feel like this would be the best chance for her to feel more comfortable about being on the X-Men. But at the same time, I want to see her out in the field by herself without the idea of relying on other team members to save her if she does run into different kinds of situations. It's also Cyclops wondering if she's hiding anything at all. Now, once you have Cyclops and Firestar arrive at this cancer facility, they are confronted by, I guess, the nurse in charge for the night. Now, when it comes to this nurse, she does tell us the actual truth of what's happening right now with their facility. And what I mean by that is, earlier, the X-Men were told that this facility was not getting any shipment at all. Except she says no, it does arrive. It's that somebody breaks in and then takes our stuff while no one is looking. Somebody has access to our storage room. Now, you will believe, okay, it has to be a random employee, but it's not. It's somebody else outside the facility. Now, there is another reason why Firestar wanted to come here. And the reason why, because in the earlier days of Marvel Comics, she also had cancer. And unfortunately, that cancer came from her powers. Now, she was able to get rid of that cancer, but at the same time, it was still a hard thing to go through. And so that shows why she truly wants to come here and help these people, because she was just like them once before, somebody trying to get rid of cancer. Now, after a while, you do have the two heroes talk to one another, but that is when the building begins to shake. And that tells Cyclops and Firestar some kind of bad guy is the reason why this facility has not been able to keep their drugs for their patients. Now, before we are able to figure out who is the bad guy of this book, you do have Jean Grey calling the Cyclops to see that if they need any kind of help to deal with their problem. Now, here's the thing. Because Cyclops really wants Firestar to handle this problem by herself. And so he says, no, I want you guys to stay on your task or your goals to handle the other missions that were given to us. Because I want to see if Firestar is able to handle problems on her own. Now, once we do jump back over to Firestar, this is where we kind of find out who is the bad guy of today's book. And that would be Whirlwind. Whirlwind is a D-list character. Originally, he was better known as the Human Top. Yeah, that was his first code name, the Human Top. Now, over the years, of course, his name changed to Whirlwind because he learned more about his powers. Now, he's also a mutant, but he did not go on Krakoa because, well, no one cares. Either way, he's right now coming here because he was actually hired to kill off a cancer patient here at this facility by that cancer patient's daughter. But then he saw her, Firestar, and the last time he saw her, him and her boyfriend got in a huge fight and she joined in, and well, they defeated Whirlwind pretty badly. He was truly embarrassed. And so this is really more of him just trying to get revenge against her. And so once you have Firestar being able to defeat Whirlwind, this leads into one important question. Why hasn't Whirlwind joined Krakoa? Because he is a mutant. And you have Whirlwind say, why would I? Because I already know if I do go there, I'm going to end up dead with the rest of you guys. Because sooner or later, somebody who has the ability to fire a nuke will use that nuke as a way to get rid of us. Which means that why in the world would I risk my life to be with you guys to just end up being killed off? But on top of that, he does mention something else. The idea of Firestar having so many human friends. And this is another callback to the idea that she never truly gone through the process of being hated on by the human race because she was always on some other superhero team. And so what Whirlwind is saying right now is that you'll be okay though, Firestar, because before that nuke is fired, one of your human friends will call you up and say, hey, you need to leave the island and then you'll survive the actual explosion. And so he's saying that technically Firestar, it could be a hidden traitor or basically not really down with helping out the mutant race. Either way, you have Whirlwind say that he did plant a bomb somewhere in the cancer facility, and it's up to Cyclops and Firestar to work together to find the bomb, which they do, and they are able to stop it just like that. Now, once you have Firestar being able to go back to Krakoa, she does run into the Hellions. Now, when she does, this is her saying, listen, I know you guys hate me. I know you guys believe that I'm some kind of cruel person or I never truly cared for our own race. But in reality, there are many reasons why I had to leave the mutant race behind to join other teams like the Avengers and New Warriors. Now, I do understand that how it may look, but I want to show you guys that I'm here to stay and put the work in, that I want to help out the mutant race. And so this is the Hellions kind of like, okay, you know, you did say some great things there, and we're going to give you the chance to prove that what you're saying is true. But at the same time, if we find out you're lying or in reality you're not working hard enough, we're going to go back to our old ways and mess with you because we still feel like you're somebody who cannot be trusted. But for right now, we're going to trust you. And so this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.